what's up? Welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my life as a military spouse. So when I decided to do this, I had it all mapped out. Like, I wrote it down, no judgment, how the parts was gonna go. But when I made when I made part 1, my little map went out the window. Part 1, if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna link it up here somewhere. I was all in my feelings. I was all in my feelings. That part literally came from deep down in my soul. That was real life. That was not for the camera. That was no acting. That was pure. That was that in the real. That was everything. I just turned on the camera, started recording. That was me. That was me at my 100. That was me, real life, how I felt at that moment after dropping my husband off. So since I did that, my map went out the window. So now I guess I'm just gonna freeball it, I guess. I'm just gonna go with, don't make anything up because I'm legit a real military spouse. So it's gonna go in order, starting from way back at the beginning. But since I just decided to turn on the camera and start recording, that's how it's gonna go. I'm just gonna record as shit happens. So we right here at deployment, so I'm just gonna record as things happen. So as you know, my husband is on deployment. He's been gone for about, I don't know, 2 weeks now. I'm really trying not to think about it, because if I think about it, I'm gonna be in my feelings. So I want to say it's about 2 weeks. We've been emailing back and forth. Those, my military spouses, Navy in particular, y'all know the email system is straight trash. It's trash. It's trash. And especially when they decide they want to turn it off or they want to change. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's trash. And especially like if something happens back at home and you need to talk to them and you can't get through, it's the worst, because that's right now what I am experiencing. The situation is trash. So let me give you an example. My kids' birthdays are coming up. We are discussing what we want to do. And my son is turning 16, my daughter is turning 12. So we are discussing like what we want to do, how much we want to spend, this, that, and the third. So we're trying to talk, of course, of what we want to do. And I'm saying this, he's saying that. And our emails are not in, chronological order. I can say this, and then that email and I go through and he says something else and I'm like, what are you talking about? Because a whole email in the middle, never received. And he'll say something, I'm just like, did you not understand what I said? And then sometimes it leads to arguments because neither one of us are understanding what each other is saying, because 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 emails in the midst got lost in translation. So the email system is straight trash. It's straight trash. And then it's kind of like texting. You're not supposed to talk in all caps. You're not supposed to talk in an exclamation point, because the moment, like, say if you want to hit caps at the beginning of the sentence and then you don't take it off, so your whole sentence becomes in the caps, and you be like, why you yelling at me? Because he does that sometimes. And I'd be like, why are you yelling? And he was like, I'm not yelling. I'm like, well, you talking all in caps, so you are yelling. So, we have that situation. Or I will put all exclamation marks, and he'd be like, are you mad? I'm like, no. Like this morning, because my husband works nights. So this morning, he was like, well, I'm about to go. And his exact words was, what did he say? He said, look, I'm going to bed. I got an inspection. And I was like, my response to that was, well, damn, love you too. I mean, you just gonna cut me off like that? So then he wrote back and he was like, well, I didn't mean it like that. Love you. Talk to you later. So it's like, you have to use your words carefully, because if you don't, like texting, you're gonna get the wrong idea, even if you know that's not what they meant, but it's your feelings. I knew he was tired, and I knew he was ready to go to bed, but he cut me off. He was just like, I'm going to bed, and I was like, well, damn, maybe I had something else to say. And it's the same thing like him. Those of you that are already subscribed to my channel, or those of you that see my shorts, I work from home, I do hair. So he will email me like on the weekends, and I can't like literally go back and forth with him because I'm in the middle of a client. And I'll say, I'm doing hair, and he'd be like, so you don't got time for me? And I'm like, well, it's not like that. It's because I don't have time. I can't talk to you right now. So he'll take it personally. So all in all, emailing it sucks. So there was a point on one of these deployments that we could use Facebook Messenger. And that was like the best. Now on some ships, and even on my husband's ship, some people still can use it. Why it's not available to everybody, I don't know. But Facebook Messenger is the best because you can sit there and have a whole conversation and communicate, and you can get that one-on-one conversation. Whereas when you send an email, you just fingers crossed that he got it and he understands what I'm talking about. I need my Facebook Messenger back. We were talking in one email that he was trying to get into his Facebook, and he was asking me to like go on the computer and log into his Facebook and send him something, this, that, and the third to try to get it to work. And that was another email. We going back and forth, and he telling me what to do. And long story short, I asked him, did it ever work? I don't know, because I don't know if it ever worked, because my last email to that whole conversation, I don't know if he ever received it. So I'm done talking about the whole Facebook thing because I never got any answer. So I don't even know if he even got the email to the Facebook Messenger. So I'm done talking about it. I guess I'm gonna be stuck with email, or I wait till he hit port, and then if he hit port, then we'll talk about it then. But it's just like, when you get on the conversation, when you get on the subject and you're talking about it and you're going back and forth, and then you don't get an answer to that, it's just like, okay, fine, I'm moving on. Why continue to talk about it? There's no need. So I'm not gonna keep rambling on about email, because I could talk all day about the communication on a ship when it comes to email. That's like us. That's a whole conversation in itself. I will say this though, like when you're trying to talk in codes, that's another thing that's straight trash. On and on about emails, because it's hard. Sometimes I feel like, why don't we just go back to writing letters? Take it way back to writing letters. But you know what? That's not even gonna get to me, because that's like packages. Writing letters is like sending packages. You know how you send care packages? I used to send care packages 24/7 when it came to my husband. I mean, because he usually always get deployed when we're back in the States. The deployments in the States, well, if you don't know, the deployment in the States are much longer. You're gone for like 9-10 months, and then you're home for like maybe a year or two. Whereas in Japan, you're gone all the damn time. And it's mainly like now, the summertime. He misses his birthday, like he misses Father's Day. He misses like all those important, and obviously my kids' birthdays, because they're summer babies. So I would send care packages all the time. Does he get them? No. Or he'll get them all at, like, I'll send Father's Day, and then I'll send his birthday and his Father's Day together. Sometimes he wouldn't get them things to either the first port or to right before he come home. What is the point? You supposed to get Father's Day at Father's Day, okay? Your birthday, obviously, no. So you're supposed to get the birthday and the Father's Day together. Together. They're supposed to come together. It's game for a long time. So now it's like, if he needs something, I'll send it. Other than that, we won't do care packages like that no more, because it's just like, what's the point? The military, the Navy, I should say, has changed so much. And maybe I should just say, maybe because I've been over here for so long, I can't really speak to what's happening in the States, because I just know what's been happening over here because we've been here for so long. So that's email, that's sending packages, that's that. Another thing I want to hit on, and of course this video is gonna be like 20 minutes long, I'm sorry, but it's important stuff, because this is literally what's happening to me right now. The email, that's literally what's going on with me right now. Care packages, not so much, but I'm just saying that's another form of communication, and communication is very important. Another thing, you know, when your husband is home or your wife is home, everything is going smooth, nothing's happening, it's hunky-dory, it's unicorns and butterflies. And with me, every single time that man steps on that shit, something happens. Something happens. It never fails. It could be something small, it could be something big. So we got 2 cars. His car was working. I can't say his car. Okay, one of the cars were working perfectly fine. Nothing wrong. His car that he drive to work. I really don't drive it that much when he's not here, because, you know, I just drive around, make sure, you know, so the battery don't die. So he was the last one to drive it, because he worked. I don't know. But he left the trunk open. I was not aware of that. I went to drive it one of these days and it wouldn't start. Do you know me? Yvette knows nothing about cars. The only thing I know is you put gas in it and you go. The end. Anything in between? Don't know. So I went to, you know, start it up to drive it, like, because that's what I do. And it wouldn't start. And I was like, oh shit, the shit died. And I'm like, but he ain't even going that long, so why did it die? At that point, he ain't even going that long, maybe a few days. I was like, it shouldn't die. So, you know, I know how to jump a car. I do know how to do that much. Let me jump a car, you know, check the oil and change the tire. I do know some of the basics and put gas in it. I know that much. Anything else, don't ask me. So I got jumper cables and I used the other car and, you know, jumped it. No problem. I jumped it. You know, once you jump in, I know you're supposed to let it run for a little bit so it don't turn back on. So I let it run for a little bit. And then I know you're supposed to maybe take it around the block or something like that. Did I do that? I didn't do it at the time. But anyways, I'm jumping ahead. I let it run for a little bit. And then, like I said, I did not drive it right away. My plan was to drive it the next day. But I turned it off, and then I went to turn it back on, and it didn't start. And I was like, what the hell? And then I jumped it again. This time, I let it run a little bit longer. But as it was running, I'm still trying to figure out, like, why did it die? And at that time, I realized the trunk of his car, because it's like kind of like a hatchback, you know, in Japan, you know, we got the old cars and it's hatchback. So I realized the trunk was open. Did I know the trunk was open this whole entire time? No, because I didn't drive it. So that leads me to believe maybe the light inside the car was open. Did I know that? No. Yes, I walked past the car every day. Did I see it? No. I mean, because I wasn't paying attention to the car. I was going to the car that I was driving. You know, I'm the type of person, like, I have tunnel vision. I'm going from A to B. Nothing else around me exists. I mean, that's just who I am. So I'm going to the vehicle that I'm going to drive. I'm not paying attention to anything else. So if the light in the other car was on, I did not see it. I did not pay attention to it. I was like, okay, then this is why the battery died. So anyways, I jumped it again. I let it run, ran around the block, and then parked it, turned it off, turned it back on. That time, it did come back on. So I went to the car place and made an appointment to get a battery installed. And I was like kind of hesitant about it at first, because I was like, I didn't do it. Why I gotta do, you know? my first thought was put a car cover and let him solve the problem when he come home. Because I ain't do it. Why I gotta fix it? But I'm glad that I did listen to my inner self, because the battery that his car needed was the last one on the shelf. So, and I actually did record that. It's like maybe, I don't know, like maybe a 2 or 3 minute video or something. So I'll make sure I'll put that up there too. But yeah, I went and got it fixed, and now, you know, she's fine. I think he called her Betsy. I think that's the name of the car. I think he named her Betsy or something. So Betsy is fine. She's up and running, this, that, and the third. But every time he leaves, something happens. It never fails. And I'm like, what made me so mad is like, because he was driving the car. There was nothing wrong with it. I mean, okay, maybe he left the trunk open up, but I'm just like, why did it have to happen literally after you leave? The battery couldn't drain while you were here. It literally had to wait till you leave. Then drain. It's annoying. It's always something. It's always something. And then the other situation is the bank stuff. Last year with the bank stuff, it was kind of the same thing, but it was more of a headache. So I don't know, for those that have maybe federal, you know, they got that 2-step verification that it has to be up there, and you can't remove it. If you want to remove it, you have to go to them. And I told my husband that you have to go over there and talk to them and have them remove it before you leave. Did he do it? No. He was like, I don't want to do that. I don't need to do that. It was the same problem we had last year. And of course I had to go over there, and you know, I had to act very unpleasant to get it done. Literally, it's always something. I don't know what's going to be next. It's like when your spouse is on deployment, you can't relax. It's not a relaxing period. It's like you always have to be on your toes and to be prepared, because you don't know when the next, I wouldn't say necessarily bad thing, or you don't know when the next thing's gonna happen, because something's gonna happen. It's just like it's around the corner and it's waiting for you. Yeah. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the next thing to come around that corner for me. Because right now, it's the email, and it's the bank, and it was the car. What's the fourth? I'm waiting for number 4. Because it's coming. So this was my part 2. I don't know what's going to be part 3, because we're not going by the map anymore. I'm just making it as it goes. This is my part 2 of everything that's going on in my current life situation right now. Birthdays, and we're going to try to do some fun stuff this summer, because I cannot and will not be home with them every day 24/7, because they are going to drive me nuts. They're going to drive me nuts. But yeah, until next time, guys. See ya.